to have it so close to the events of Israel as sort of an anniversary tie-in is, I think, really significant.
Kevin, it's an honor to chat with you today. And I am a huge fan of your work. We love you from Jesus Revolution and so many other things. This movie, let me tell you, it is amazing. It is a masterpiece, a work of art.
Mm.
Rarely do the follow-up films or sequels or even next in the story films actually do better than the first. A million times better than the first film. I mean, I can't just help but sing its praises. So tell our audience a little bit of the backstory about this film and why you chose this project. I mean, I'm gonna let you talk. Okay, please take the floor.
It's good to be here. Yeah, Whitebird is it's set in the Wonder universe. So Wonder, obviously, a great film that was out about 8 years ago. Had Julia Roberts in it and Owen Wilson, and did gangbusters at the box office. A movie that I loved, was very close to my heart. And so this film, Whitebird, actually opens up. There was a bully in that film. His name was Julian, and he uh, got sort of expelled from school. And so we open up and we see him at his new school, and he is sort of introduced into a situation of bullying again. And so he's thinking about it. He's like, oh my goodness, I don't want to go through what I just went through. And so he goes home, and his grandmother is visiting from Europe, and she decides to tell him her story of growing up in Nazi occupied France during the Second World War. And that's where our movie takes place, is in this sort of story that's being told by Helen Mirren, who's obviously an extraordinary actress and really great. And you just fall in love with these people, these young people that are struggling through this time period of trying to figure out life. They've been thrown these curveballs in life that was not their doing, and the choices they make, the self-sacrifices that they make, to be able to show acts of kindness towards people that they don't really know, even to the point of sacrificing their own life, really just sings loudly and true, and I think is very poignant for today's environment, today's climate. I think if as a whole, whether it's in your community or your neighborhood or your city or even humanity as a whole, if we were to just treat each other with a little bit more kindness, uh, wouldn't solve all the world's problems, maybe, but it might solve a lot of them. And first and foremost, I mean, with our films at Kingdom Story Company, we obviously want to entertain, because we value people's money, that they're spending money and their time to be able to spend a couple of hours with us at a movie theater. And we want to entertain you first and foremost. And so this movie will definitely entertain you, but also leave you walking away for the next several days, thinking about it and contemplating what you just witnessed and what you just saw. And I love films like that just kind of want to hold on to you and not necessarily leave, and you just think about it forever. And for me, I mean, despite having my name on Whitebird, it's definitely in my top 5, top 10 list of movies all time. I just think it's such a brilliant, brilliant film. Mark Forrester, the director, did such a great job. Really, really crushed it. And just really proud of the work that he did and the producing team that was on the ground did to be able to bring it to the forefront. And Andy and I and Kingdom Story Company were just proud to have our names on it and be a part of it.
The release date of the film. I know that it is coming out on October 4th, which is near the 1 year anniversary of everything that happened in Israel. Was that sort of intentional, or was it something that just happened to happen?
I think there was some intentionality to it. When Lionsgate brought us this film, it was still in post production, and so we had a few notes on it and some ideas about when to put it out into the marketplace and how, and some of the, obviously there's the obvious themes, but some of the other thematic elements that will really strike a chord with people, with viewers when they watch it. And October 4th was important for us. I mean, first it's got to work for the calendar, not just say, let's pick a date and whatever happens, happens. And so it worked for the calendar, but also to have it so close to the events of Israel as sort of an anniversary tie-in is, I think, really significant. And so I love the fact that it's sort of closely so that people talk about it, and there's just there's more significance to be able to rally around what this film is about, and what an outcome to conflict worldwide, not just in certain segments of the world, could really use. I mean, leadership can use a little dose of kindness. Everybody needs a little white bird in their life, and I think that's really important.
Absolutely. And I really, really love that. I know when I noticed that, I was like, wow, this is almost a God thing. And this is perfect. And I'm glad you guys decided to pair that together. Tell us how this film will impact people in that community, whether it's by Jewish faith or Jewish heritage in this film when they watch it.
I think that the hope is that, like all of our films at Kingdom Story Company, we're trying to make films that just provide a rush of hope, that showcase the power of the gospel in some way, whether it's showcasing fruit of the spirit or whatnot, but that just provide this rush of hope. And this film provides a rush of hope. And so our hope is that that community will see this and go, you know what, there is hope in this world. If we all just had a little bit of kindness, that we extended our arm and reached out to people, that maybe the world could be different and the world could change. And having understanding and empathy through the things that have happened in the past. So I love the fact that there's unification that can happen through the outcome of the film.
In the story, the bullying aspect, how the boy was like the first one, a bully, and then we sort of see like a shift a little bit in his he's still having some issues, but like his character seems to be kind of different or growing. Describe a little bit about that. I mean, it's almost as we watch it, I kind of see a little bit of redemption for the bully. That it's just not you're the bad person, but hey, there's a little bit more to a person behind what we consider a bully.
We all have the decision to make different choices every moment of every day. And as we move forward, we can wake up this day, this morning, and choose to adopt more fruits of the spirit and be more like Christ in every moment and treat other people differently. And so I think you see this evolution with our main character, whose name is Julian, as this story is told throughout the film, as we come back to him and we hear Helen Mirren, who acts as a narrator, explain how significant. One of my favorite moments in the film was actually when she explains how significant his name is, because the name of the boy that was so selfless and sacrificed choices in his own life to be able to save hers, his name was Julian. And that cutaway moment, that you look on his face, that wow, my name actually means something. And so for us, it's like God chose, yeah, our parents chose our name, but God chose us. We are selected, and our name means something to him. And I mean, that moment brought me to tears. I was like, okay, I can't wait for my kids to see this, because you could see the light bulb kind of turn on for him in that moment, that, you know what, I am significant. I am important. I do matter. And I can actually make a different decision in my life. And then you see him play it out. Obviously in the end of the movie, that he just makes a different decision in his life to be able to treat this other person who he probably wouldn't have treated with kindness, with just absolute kindness, because that was his choice to do that. I loved it. I was like, okay, I'm all in. I'm totally all in. It's not only introducing the problem and then showing a thematic story that emotionally moves you, but then also gives you an action point and shows you the outcome. And the way he did that so seamlessly, I think it was just really incredible, and an example, and something all ages. I mean, my boys who are 11, 15, 16, obviously we'll talk about it, but then also all ages, I think we can take something away from it and apply it to our lives. I love films like that do that. It's really, really great.
I I love that redemption part of that. It's like a redemption story. And like I said, I'm going to sing this film's praises over and over again because it's really that good. So I want to thank you guys for choosing this project and for doing such a superb job with that.